Have you ever heard of someone who became stronger after being poisoned and miraculously returned from death, despite being believed gone by his family? Have you ever wondered what fueled the deep rivalry between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, especially the fierce rivalry between Bhima and Duryodhana? Welcome to Timeless Tales World, where we explore the rich legends and history of India. In today's video, we delve into the early life of the Pandavas and the seeds of conflict between these legendary cousins. After the tragic death of Pandu and Madri in the forest, Kunti and the young Pandavas were engulfed in sorrow. Yet Kunti, despite her grief, stood strong for her children. She took on the responsibility of nurturing them and instilling in them the values and strength needed to uphold Pandu's legacy, ensuring that they would carry it forward with honor and courage. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra ruled in Pandu's absence, having assumed the throne when Pandu chose a life of asceticism in the forest. Dhritarashtra's sons, the Kauravas, enjoyed the privileges of princely life. The eldest, Duryodhana, was determined to be the heir to the throne, viewing himself as the rightful successor since he was the eldest son of the reigning king. In his eyes, Yudhishthira, who had been living in the forest, was not a contender, despite being the eldest in the family by lineage. When the news of Pandu and Madri's deaths reached the palace in Hastinapur, it was met with a wave of shock and mourning. King Dhritarashtra and Queen Gandhari were deeply saddened by the loss of Pandu, their brother, and his wife Madri. The royal family was engulfed in grief, and the court was filled with an air of solemnity as they mourned the passing of the beloved prince and his wife. Bhishma, the grand patriarch of the Kuru dynasty, was struck with profound sorrow upon hearing of Pandu's death. He had always been a guiding figure for the family and had hoped for Pandu to lead the Kuru dynasty to greater heights. Vidura, known for his wisdom and unwavering loyalty, shared Bhishma's grief but was also deeply concerned about the implications for the kingdom's future. Both knew that the loss of Pandu left a significant void, and the responsibility of preserving the family's legacy now rested heavily on the shoulders of the young Pandavas. Recognizing the importance of unity within the royal family and the rightful place of the Pandavas in the Kuru dynasty, Bhishma and Vidura decided it was essential to bring Kunti and her sons back to Hastinapur. They understood that the Pandavas needed the protection and guidance of the royal court to grow into their rightful roles. Vidura, with his deep sense of duty, was entrusted with the task of bringing them back. Known for his fairness and diplomatic skills, Vidura ensured their safe journey to the kingdom. The arrival of the Pandavas in Hastinapur marked a significant turning point. The kingdom was abuzz with mixed emotions, sympathy for their loss and wariness about the implications of their return. The Pandavas were greeted with formal respect and were warmly welcomed by Bhishma, Vidura, and others in the royal court, who recognized their rightful place within the Kuru dynasty. As the Pandavas settled back into life at Hastinapur, Yudhishthira's rising prominence and respect from the people became evident. Known for his wisdom, righteousness, and diplomatic skills, Yudhishthira began to earn the admiration and support of the people and the elders of the kingdom. His emerging status as the heir apparent greatly angered Duryodhana, the eldest son of Dhritarashtra and the oldest of the Kaurava princes. Duryodhana felt a deep sense of injustice because, although his father Dhritarashtra was the firstborn, he had lost the throne to Pandu due to his visual impairment. Duryodhana believed that the throne rightfully belonged to him, not Yudhishthira. Despite their formal welcome, the Pandavas were subjected to constant hostility from the Kauravas. Duryodhana and his brothers often mocked and belittled the Pandavas, showing disdain for their presence and undermining their status. The Kauravas' hostility reached its peak with cruel pranks and deliberate humiliation, aiming to assert their dominance and provoke the Pandavas. Bhima, known for his immense strength and fiery temper, was particularly targeted by the Kauravas. To retaliate, Bhima would exact revenge in ways that reflected both his strength and his desire to restore dignity. He would wait for the Kauravas to climb trees and then shake them violently until they fell, laughing at their discomfort. On another occasion, while the Kauravas were swimming, Bhima would dive into the river and pull them underwater, causing them to struggle for breath. This cycle of humiliation and retaliation fueled the growing tension between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The rivalry intensified further as the Pandavas outshone the Kauravas in lessons on statecraft, warfare, and weapon handling. The Pandavas' superior skills only deepened Duryodhana's jealousy, making him increasingly resentful. This angered Duryodhana even more, as he saw his dreams of claiming the throne slipping away. Bhima's strength and fearless nature became a source of constant irritation for Duryodhana, who saw him as the pillar of the Pandavas' strength and an obstacle to his ambitions. In his mind, Duryodhana became convinced that eliminating Bhima was essential to weaken the Pandavas and secure his path to the throne. Consumed by anger and envy, Duryodhana hatched a sinister plan to get rid of Bhima. He decided to exploit a public event, a demonstration of prowess, to execute his scheme. Duryodhana lured the Pandavas to an outing under the pretense of a friendly competition and feats to display their strengths and abilities. He cleverly arranged for a feast to be part of the event, offering delicious food and drinks that would appeal to everyone. Unbeknownst to the Pandavas, Duryodhana had poisoned Bhima's share of the food, knowing that his strength would make him a prime target for this deadly plot. As the feast proceeded, Bhima, who had been feeling uneasy from the effects of the poison, grew visibly weak. Recognizing his discomfort, Bhima suggested to his brothers that he needed to rest and would rejoin them later. Sensing an opportunity, Duryodhana seized the moment and, with a show of concern, insisted that Bhima stay behind while the others continued the festivities. The Pandavas, trusting Duryodhana's assurances and Bhima's own request, left him behind to recuperate. Duryodhana, now left alone with Bhima, waited until the Pandavas were out of sight before putting his plan into action. He and his accomplices took advantage of Bhima's weakened state to throw him into the Ganges River. They believed Bhima would either drown or be swept away by the strong current, effectively removing him from their path. Back at the palace, the Pandavas eventually realized that Bhima had not returned. They grew increasingly worried and immediately began searching for him. However, by the time they discovered the full extent of Duryodhana's treachery, it was too late. Bhima's disappearance had already caused a great deal of concern and anxiety among the family members. Meanwhile, Bhima's fate took a miraculous turn. As his unconscious body was carried away by the river, it reached the hidden realm of the Nagas, a race of serpentine beings who dwelled beneath its surface. Their king, Vasuki, recognized Bhima as the son of Kunti and Pandu. The Nagas swiftly neutralized the poison in Bhima's system and fed him nectar that greatly enhanced his strength. With his life and strength restored, Bhima emerged from the river, more powerful than ever. Upon his return to the palace, Bhima's dramatic recovery and return were met with a mixture of astonishment and relief. The Pandavas, especially Kunti and Yudhishthira, were deeply shocked and distressed upon hearing of the treacherous plot against Bhima. On Vidura's advice, they decided to keep the incident secret to avoid further provocation and to strategize their next steps carefully. Kunti, while relieved that Bhima was safe, was also deeply troubled by the treachery of Duryodhana. The family's resolve to protect themselves and reclaim their rightful place was strengthened by this incident. Bhima's miraculous return and newfound strength became a symbol of their determination to overcome the adversities they faced and prepared them for the looming battles that would eventually lead to the Great War of Kurukshetra. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the treacherous plots and intense rivalries that shaped the Mahabharata. If you enjoyed this video and want to delve deeper into the world of ancient legends and historical tales, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Tales World. Stay tuned for more captivating stories from India's rich past.